Okay, welcome. I'm sorry for the last video. I had a technical problem. I tried to go really fast and do a dynamic sky and make show you how to use light inside the set and put a create create a dynamic sky and do that stuff. But it went overload and I couldn't complete the whole process. But frankly, I just made things more simple. We made the head, we made the set, we made the light, and just to remind you about those three buttons here, one's for mesh, the other one's for the color that works, and the other one here is for the final piece, for the final part. You can see our pug. It looks cool. Light, and we can press 0 and we can see how it's going to be looking in the film. So after we've done this, we need to do three last things to conclude this. One, right here where you can see my mouse, right here, this is going to be the timeline. This here is where you're going to make the movement of your 3D object. And we're going to make it, jump, move around. This is how you're going to make a cartoon. You press here the auto key, the circle here. Now you can remember that's like the recording button. So we're now recording. Everything you're going to do here in the viewport is going to be, it's going to be here, it's going to be recorded, it's going to be engraved. So we move our head like this. It moved. And once we're doing this, I'm going to explain you about 24 frames per second. The reason why in the cartoon industry, 24 frames per second is the main, the traditional way of making cartoons. You can do 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second. There's the thing. Let me press Control Z. I pressed it. I put it on the 21 frame, but I should have put it in a 20. Yeah, there we go, 20 frame. Now you can do this by doing even numbers, doing the odd number. I mean by frames. You can do this by putting it 20, 10. You can do it by 15, by 35, by 25. And there's a secret to the whole, 24 frames per second. Anime, a lot of the cartoons, they're done in 60 frames per second, very famous cartoons. And if you don't want to, do a lot of work, you can do things 24 frames per second. The reason why the cartoon industry uses the 24 frames per second is because it's the most, it's the common frames that you can do, so you can also put, speech in the movement of your cartoon, your 3D object. And when your 3D object, the puppet, it moves its mouth, 24 frames, the music, the voice, you can all match it up, you can sync it, and you can see the movement, moving correctly with the sound of the voice. And it looks natural. But if you go do 60 frames, you're going to have a hard time trying to calculate and move the movement of your the mouth of the puppet. Try to sync it. But that's why you gotta learn how to make cartoons. Because it's one thing to make our cartoon, make a 3D model, do the painting, do the works, and that's it. But the other thing is to finally make a cartoon and make it, do some actions, make it walk, and make a video about it, because that's another science. Because you're gonna see when you do something is that you add the sound, you have music, you have, voice, speech. It doesn't, sync. It doesn't match. So, it's another field. It's another, another story, another, it's another, another building. You work one building, you study the whole building, and you get to, make it work. You understand how to make cartoons, you understand how to make art. Now, when you're going to process it and make it another stuff, it's another story. It's another building. So you gotta try, gonna go up all the way up the stairs in the building. You're gonna try, to make things happen. And once you get on top of the building, you have to go down. And there's a way you can cuddle that way. You can cuddle through all those stairs. If you learn how to lip sync and how to do 24 frames per second and how to move all the objects correctly, and there is. Learn that great directors, cartoon artists know how to do that secret. I'm going to teach you it. Right now, I'm just doing this simple thing, this simple video, and I'm just concluding what I left behind, and I'm going to do another streaming very soon, so I can redo everything and make it a lot more simpler, a lot faster. And in another video about spinning frames, how to use 60 frames, 30 frames, 24 frames, how to use the sound and speech, the music, how to add it all up and just do it in 4 or 5 steps, very easy. You can make cartoons very, fast and effective. We're taking like 30 minutes, like an hour in total to make a cartoon, and we just did something that, if it was done back in the cartoon industry in the 30s and the 50s, all those times, 40s, the 60s, they wouldn't believe that with a computer you can do the work and job of, of thousands of people to make a cartoon. But now, thanks to technology. So as you see, what I did is with the recording button, everything you use your object, you move it, everything, it gets engraved, it gets, it gets written. So now all I'm gonna do is gonna press play, gonna press 0. I'm gonna see this from the camera view. There you go. See? You can do so many things, and I'm just gonna even move it a little bit more. Do something fun like this. Now, right here in the timeline, if you want to know, how much time you can give your little cartoon, you can give 30 frames. It's gonna give you like a second, 2 seconds. You can give 60 frames. It's gonna extend this, but I'm gonna give it 30 so I can demonstrate how to make a cartoon very simple, very easy. Now that we've done that, and we've done did the puppet, did the 3D object, we've done the set, we've done the sun, we can make light, and we put the camera where we wanted it. Now we're in the third step of, just putting the timeline and making the movement. The fourth step is going to be, making the cartoon through images. Very simple. It takes a lot of images to make a cartoon. Blender can do it faster and easier. So I'm going to put a folder here, Pug Model Cartoon. This is where we're going to put our images, a set. Right here. This button right here, I forgot to explain you. This is the output properties. This button here, if you're gonna, finally you finish your work, you get the cartoon here, you put the file, the folder, put the directory, you select PNG or GPG. Some people know how to use, the GPG, but I'm gonna just simplify things with you. You don't need to use Iris or BMP or GPG 2002 or Targa. Just use PNG, and the color is gonna be RGB. This is black and white. This is normal color. This right here, this is RGBA. We're saving green, blue, and alpha channel. Now we're gonna add 16 bits. It's kind of like in other cartoons, So and we're gonna see right here, we can have the option of turning this into images first. Now I'm gonna tell you, there's a reason why. Because once we start the process, we're gonna have like 100, 200 images. You're gonna save them, and then after this step, the last step is that we turn it into a video. So this is the drawing, and this is the pictures. Then we turn them into videos. So I'm just gonna press render right here. This is the last step here. Here we go. And as you see, we just finished. This is, this is just the, you know, we just did the hard work. We modeled, we painted the set, we did stuff, and we just did what thousands of people needed to do before computers were invented. They needed to waste their whole day making thousands of papers and drawings. They did a good job. I love the old cartoons. Believe me, I want to do that. Now you see, frame two. This is how simple you can do to make cartoons in Blender. See, it takes an hour, and if you want, with a little bit of effort, you can make simple cartoons. You make Flash, you can make, those memes, and you can make funny cartoons about anything. And you know what? If you make a lot of cartoons, you're gonna make money. And you know what? You can make T-shirts out of your cartoons. You can sell them. You can get other, programs in internet and other services. You can find the internet to, buy and sell merchandise. People, if you have some extra time, 1 hour, 2 hours a day, you can make a cartoon. And as you start, bundling up a lot of videos, people are gonna watch your videos. You can look for famous websites where you can, tell people about your videos. There's just a lot of options. And you see, in an hour, you can do a cartoon fast and simple. Believe me. Now, I can explain you the 24 frames per second. I can explain you more stuff. And I don't want to scare you. I don't want you to feel like it's a lot of work because we just did something that's 1 hour and we can do things, what thousands of people will spend like 8 hours, 12 hours a day. And we just need to spend 1 hour or 2 hours. And we'll make a cartoon what takes them years. Back in the 40s and the 50s, it will take you like 4 or 5 years to make a cartoon, a feature length film, 90 minutes. With this, you can take 4 months or 5 months and you can make a feature length, video. So, you should be thankful for the people of Blender. If you can download Blender, be a supporter. Blender's good. It's good for the veins. It's good for the blood. So you got a lot of people. God bless all the people in Blender. They spend a lot of time making all the software available for us. And Blender's free. No, there's a lot of other software out there that will cost you a lot of money just to make what we just did. So if you want to know, if you want a job or you want to do something simple, you want to make money, right here you can learn how to make money, and you just need to do a little bit of effort, and you can do it, day by day and day by day, and you finally make a cartoon. And believe me, you're gonna enjoy. Now, I know some of you will say that, you know, you can download Blender, you can download other programs. Believe me, there are other programs you can use. Blender is by far the most, complete free program out there. You can use Blender to make a dog, or use Blender to make the movies that are, they're coming out. Blender can reach that type of, effects. You can make special effects. You can make an atomic bomb explode. You can make space and stars. I'm gonna do a video on how to make stars in space and planets. And you're gonna have a really fun time making whatever you want. And the more you use Blender, the more time you learn or do something you like to do. You can make cartoons. You can make a TV series. Everything I worked on. It's a lot of work, but you feel proud because it's a lot. It's hard. So you just spend your day making a cartoon. You finish up making the model, putting paint on it, putting the set, putting the camera, putting the lights. Then you just go and make the PNG and you make images. Then after that step, you press and make a video about it, and you follow those two steps. and you can create one sole video. But you know, the lesson here is that you can simplify. When you're working in 3D or working in 2D cartoons, you just need to simplify, simplify, simplify. Just as simple as that. Because you don't want to stress yourself, you don't want to work too much. You're trying to have a good time, and believe me, the more work you do, the more perfection, the better you get in Blender, the more people are gonna like your stuff. So you know, there's a lot of secrets in the cartoon animation. One of those secrets is the 24 frames per second. Now, uh, there's a lot of animes, there's a lot of cartoons. Believe me, right now the cartoon industry is saturated. It has so many things that you can use to create cartoons right now. You can even do mangas or animes with Blender. And you know, one of the good things it's the frames per second. You see, people, you can make 24 frames per second, 60 frames per second, even go to 120, 100 frames per second. You can try that, but you see, the human eye can only see, for example, 2 or 3 or 4 frames. Then it changes. Then you get lost. You lose the object because it can switch. It can move really fast. You can, you know, bundle up a lot of images, and if you put, you know, various images, in the end you're just gonna see 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 because the human eye can't see all of them. That's the secret. That's the problem there. That people think with more frames per second, you know, more images. Now in the cartoon industry, there's this. There's threes, there's fours, there's twos, and that phrase means that you can put 2 images and 24 frames per second. That means that guy can lift up, you know, can lift a mug, can lift up a can, you know, or a book in his hand, and the next image he's putting it down. But you're gonna learn that, you know, if you put threes, you know, putting 3 images in 24 frames per second, it's considered, you know, movement. It's considered to be, you know, fast action. A lot of the mangas and the animes, they use threes, 3 images, you know, for 24 frames per second. You can divide that, you know, dividing 24 by 3, you get 8. There are going to be 8 frames of one single image, 8 frames of another single image, and 8 frames of another single image. Now, once you learn this, you can see that movement, and you're going to see that one hand, you know, is moving to one place, then it disappears, and it gets to the other, and you realize that the images, it tricks you in thinking that, you know, it went to one place to the other, but it tells your brain that the image went too fast and it went to another place. But the reality is that in that image, you can see just 3 images. They just move. But that's the whole point of using threes. It tricks your mind thinking that it moves fast. So, you know, the cartoon industry used that, you know, to make it cheap, to make it fast, to make a lot of cartoons. So now we're done. 30 frames have been passed. You see, now what we're going to do is just to make the video. Now we press ffmpeg video and we leave it where it was. We go here to container encoding. Matroska, we change it to MPG4. We just put it medium quality. We leave this like it is, video codec H.264, and we press render again. And now when it's going to be finished, we're going to have a cartoon. So, you know, using 2s and 3s and 4s, it's considered the basic in the cartoon industry. There are a lot of artists and what? I think I had a problem. I think I disconnected. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but anyway, we just pressed the ffmpeg video, and while I was, waiting to finish this, unfortunately, my internet went slow. That's the problem I'm having. And always remember, this is why you need a save. So once you do your ffmpeg video settings and you save it and then you press render and you finished, your video comes out. So right now I don't know if you can hear this or not, but I'm gonna continue because I had an error. But you never give up. You continue. You break through all of it. And now that I'm finished, all the images have been processed. I'm gonna open my C drive and looking for the pug, and we're gonna see the video. I'm gonna open it, and there you go. So this is just a quick guide how to make cartoons, and you can see your cartoon making heads. That's it. You can save your project. This is all. I apologize for the inconvenience. Need to fix my internet, but know that